Dan bagi mendalami lebih lanjut perkembangan pasaran sektor takaful Malaysia, kita bersama Shahril Azuar Jimin, Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Etiqa Takaful. Hi, thank you for joining us today.
Most welcome, Rizal.
Okay, let's talk about the takaful sector in Malaysia. Where is it right now? Because we see lots of competition from those well, in the mainstream offering savings products and all that together with the insurance product. But where is takaful right now? Is it getting prominent?
Well, the takaful industry has been showing tremendous growth, not just in Malaysia but also globally. If I can share the global trend for takaful over the last 5 years, it has been showing a compounded average growth rate of about 39% every year.
Oh.
Amazing growth, and far outweighs the Islamic banking growth of about 28% a year. In Malaysia, and this figure is similar to that, we've been showing double-digit growth every year. In 2008, we've seen the figure grow by 32%. Last year, it's a bit of a slowdown by about 15%. But the anticipation is that it will continue to grow minimally about 20 to 22% every year. The business is growing, but it is still small. The penetration for takaful is still small in Malaysia compared to the traditional conventional insurance. You must also bear in mind that insurance traditionally has been around for a long time. We've had players who've been here for more than 100 years. Whereas takaful, even though as a concept is not new, as a business it is still relatively new. Bear in mind that the first takaful company started in Malaysia only in 1984. So in view of the very recent developments, I think the growth has been phenomenal. Only 6-7 years ago, the penetration rate for takaful was less than 5%. Now we're looking at a 10% penetration rate for takaful, which is very commendable.
Looking at what you've mentioned just now, because I think you've mentioned a really interesting point, which is the long standing of, or the long presence of the conventional insurance. But looking at that and taking that into consideration, what can the takaful players do to maybe penetrate or increase the penetration into the insurance market in that sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Malaysia has had a long history of, as we mentioned just now, about the insurance companies being in the market, but there's been a large segment of the population that was either not informed or unwilling to take up conventional insurance due to religious reasons, because of it's against the principles of Sharia, and hence we have takaful as a business. So when the business first started in 1984, there was only one company, and then the government had the vision to see that, look, we need more penetration, and approved for a second takaful company to be established in 1994. And looking at the growth, Bank Negara Malaysia has put in a very good regulatory framework and foresees that we need more players. So that's why now we have 12 licensed takaful operators in Malaysia. So that's one of the ways to do it. Don't forget that not only conventional insurance has been around for a long time, there are also many players. There's in excess of 20 over conventional insurance companies, about 30 insurance companies, which still far outweighs the takaful industry.
You mentioned 12 players, takaful players in the market right now, right? But how does Etiqa Takaful fare as opposed to these other 11 players in that sense? Are you guys comfortable where you are right now, or what are you guys doing to further increase your own penetration into the takaful market?
That's a very good question, Rizal, because it's something that is developing day by day. The 12 players that are in the market right now, only 8 are fully operational. 4 are the new licensees that was awarded, and they have not yet been fully operational. So out of the market of 8 companies, Etiqa Takaful is number 1 with the overall market share of about 45%. So that's a huge commanding position that we hold. And in terms of the segments of business, family takaful, which is the equivalent of life insurance, for family takaful, Etiqa commands a new business share of 48%. And for general takaful, Etiqa commands a market share of about 44%. So we are very comfortable with the position that we have, and therefore we are in a position to tread carefully into the areas that we go into, and to make sure that when we go into new distribution channels or new products, we are able to do it in a very well thought way.
Because I think what the interesting point that you mentioned just now is that because of the takaful, the family takaful, because I think back then you say 10, 15 years ago, nobody cares about the whole family protection or insurance or takaful in that sense of the family. But there is this trend of rising awareness about the importance of insurance and takaful. Do you think that this will further contribute to the growing or to the development of the takaful industry itself?
Sure. The awareness levels of insurance or the need for protection, be it insurance or takaful, has a direct correlation with the development of any economy. We see that the more developed economies have got very good penetration rates. When we see Singapore, for example, they've got penetration rate for insurance of about 75%, Hong Kong of nearly 100%, Japan has got 150%, meaning people have got more than one policy, whereas in Malaysia it's only approaching about 40%. Yeah? So there's still a lot more that the industry can do, and particularly for takaful in terms of educating the consumers. So, but more and more people now are realizing and having that awareness of the importance of this kind of protection, and we see the emergence of our middle class, getting bigger and bigger. And whilst it was quite difficult 15 years back trying to explain to somebody what takaful was, I think there's more acceptance now. We don't get people mispronouncing takaful as tafakul, for example. We don't see that too often nowadays.
Okay, and let's talk about your main products or your main channel of penetrating into the market right now, because I think you mentioned something of a 40% share of that whole penetration of takaful Etiqa, right?
We thrive on a couple of factors. Number one, we thrive very much on our brand, which is we are a subsidiary of Maybank, which is the country's largest banking network, and where we also have a very good brand equity in Etiqa. So this helps us very much. And related to that, we also have the best distribution network, because not only is Maybank our shareholder, Maybank is also our biggest distributor through its 400 over branches throughout the country. So our distribution via Maybank and few other banks constitute nearly 45% of our distribution. So that's a very important channel for us. Having said that, another very important channel for us is the agency channel, whereby we have about 14,000 family takaful agents throughout the country. And these family takaful agents, they are able to act as financial consultants. They are able to offer products which would suit individuals, what we call from cradle to grave.
Okay, let's take a short break and then we'll talk about that, because I think that's a very important point, which is the agents and also the agencies, because I think they are the ones to be educating the to be takaful holders or existing takaful holders in planning their finances. And having played such important role, what would Etiqa Takaful do to further maybe train them or equip them with the latest development in the financial market right now? Let's talk about that in a while.
Sure.
Kita akan berehat sekali kembali selepas ini. Bertemu kembali, kita bersama dengan Shahril Azuar Jimin, Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Etiqa Takaful. Shahril, let's talk about the question that I posed just now, and also adding to that, because I know that the word Islamic banking and takaful might be a bit on the religious side, very, very pertaining to the religious side. But what are the take-ups of the non-Muslims for takaful, and how would agents play a big role in this, convincing them to go for takaful?
So this is one of the challenges that we have as an industry, which hopefully is declining now. It has been a great misconception that Islamic financial products, particularly takaful, is only for Muslims, which is not the case. And we take it upon ourselves, Etiqa, as being the biggest takaful company, to highlight to the public and to the consumers that it is actually a financial product that is based on ethical values, which has Sharia as the key component. And this point is not just in Malaysia, even worldwide. I'm frequently invited to speak at Takaful conferences overseas, and many people, they don't realize that this product is not just available for non-Muslims, but it's actually something which can be quite good for them, because takaful as a concept, as a business model, is not entirely new. It is very similar to what mutual insurance companies operate in, particularly in Europe and in the United States. It is just that we have the elements of Sharia that we need to comply to, which we cannot invest, be uncertain, we cannot have the gambling element and interest. So once they find that out, that it's not so much a religious thing, meaning a non-Muslim who subscribes to a Takaful product does not need to convert, in short, long and short of it. So they'll be very surprised. And it's an equitable and a just product, because you get to share in the investment proceeds under the Mudarabah. This is something that is peculiar to products under Islamic finance. So when we are able to educate the consumers, then they treat it like any other business proposition. And we see this very much in Etiqa, whereby out of the 14,000 agents that we have a significant portion who are non-Muslims. And we also see a good percentage of our businesses, new businesses coming in from non-Muslim consumers. Particularly in the general takaful, because especially for the motor vehicle or automobile takaful, so when they buy a car and they take up a motor takaful plan, they will be very surprised that at the end of the year, if no claim is made, they will actually get some money back, which is the proceeds of the sharing, the proceeds of the investment. And it might not be that much, it depends on the size of your contribution for the vehicle. But it's something that people don't realize, and so it's something that that's a differentiator.
So I guess this falls on the shoulders of the agents to actually explain and educate first-time Takaful buyers or existing Takaful customers to equip them with the knowledge of what Takaful is and how it applies in a sense that it's very transparent. It's non risk-taking in that sense, right?
Yeah, it's we take it upon ourselves, and we bring it up for the agents to disseminate this kind of information as well. We're changing the mindset that this is not selling a religious product, but we're selling a good financial product for protection, which is based on Sharia principles. And we have been training and retraining our agents to go along those lines, and we put in a few very interesting interventions. Last year we established what we call our Etiqa Academy, one whole building, state-of-the-art facility that is not just on selling skills but also on the technicalities of Takaful and also on the essence of Takaful itself. So and we trained about 8,000 people last year. And along with that, as part of these efforts, we've brought to Malaysia the World Takaful Conference.
Let's talk about the World Takaful Conference. What do you hope to achieve with that, and what's the significance of the WTC to the Takaful industry?
The World Takaful Conference is an event that is held in Dubai. It has been going on for every year for the last 6 years. It's organized by a Middle Eastern group, and it has emerged as probably the most eminent Takaful forum in the world right now. Every year it's held, and you see a lot of industry players from all over the world, especially from the Middle East and the Gulf countries. It is also an important platform whereby Ernst & Young publishes its annual Takaful report. So it's a lot of prominence there, and as a brand, the conference is very respected. So we've been attending that as either as participant or as delegate, and we thought we need to do something over here in Malaysia. And Etiqa, obviously, because of its size, we can do something on our own, but we thought let's partner this group of people so that we can write also on the brand that it has. So but we were discussing, and we thought it might not make sense to have another World Takaful Conference over here. So we thought, let's skew it, let's focus it on family Takaful only.
So that will be the focus for this WTC, right?
So the summit that is held currently now in KL is actually called World Takaful Conference, Family Takaful Summit, whereby the emphasis and focus is on family Takaful. Okay,
I think we have less than 1 minute left, but let's talk about your new products. What do you have in the pipeline, and what can we expect Etiqa Takaful to be introducing in the future? Maybe briefly.
Yeah, we are excited about the distribution channels that we have, and we've got many new initiatives. We're very big now on the online channels, for example, and we sell in excess of 2,000 motor policies online right now. And this is something that we want to expand even further. So we're developing products that are easy to buy online, and we see people gaining more interest in this. Especially, we're focusing also on what we call the Generation Y. And in terms of products, our products are among the best in the market. We have a got a very good education plan.
Okay.
This is something that we try to highlight because our target market specifically is the young professionals with children. So that is something that we are able to offer very well.
Okay, thank you very much Shahril for being with us today.
Most welcome.
Dari Shahril Azuar Jimin, Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Etiqa Takaful, membincangkan tentang industri takaful dan juga World Takaful Conference. Is it still going on?
It is still going on until tomorrow.
Until tomorrow, okay.
Yes.
So siapa yang nak tahu maklumat lebih lanjut tentang World Takaful Conference boleh melawat dan juga kita akan berhenti saja. Saya Rizal Sukapi, teruskan menonton Astro Awani, berita segenap dimensi. Salam hormat.